Hi, this is Lynn Zusak, and this is Faith Talk. Not as humid today, praise the Lord, and not as hot, so it's not very blue sky back there, but I'm going to hurry up and talk about this. Somebody asked me about deliverance and talking about deliverance. I am not going to argue about whether or not Christians can have demons because I'm way past that. We've delivered ourselves of anything that's got a hold of you that you don't want. You've come into agreement with it in some way, like people call it, sin. So if you take action to agree with something evil, even unknowingly, a demon can get in. And then you become compulsively pushed to do something that's going to control you and make life difficult. So if you recognize that you have a demonic problem, or somebody else does, anyway, casting out demons is it doesn't have to be a dramatic thing. My husband and I, I knew a little bit about it and helped him for a year when we first met, and he was like amazed at first that there was this going on with him in himself, but it was working. We were getting deliverance, and we recognize deliverance as very subtly. We like, that's deliverance. As soon as you disagree with something, you can get sometimes yawning, and it doesn't have to be vomiting or anything. But anyway, the point that I'm making today is about authority. The Lord's been kind of reminding me for myself of my authority that I'm not using. I don't use the kind of authority as much as I should over myself. Ministering to yourself, for basically, that's another thing. You really have to minister to yourself, love yourself enough to minister to yourself. You can minister to other people. Sometimes we love other people more than we love ourselves. And anyway, I do discuss deliverance, and it's not a big dramatic way, and just how to disagree with things. In my first book, First Wash the Inside, in like chapter 7 or 8, something. But anyway, authority. Okay, we all have times of authority that we have over other people. Okay, as employers, as a correct authority. We don't want to take it. We don't have people controlling us in a bad way, but we submit to authority for a reason. Like in the military, if you're a police officer, you have authority over people. You're supposed to take authority over people, and people recognize that. But demons recognize authority. Okay, and the little story I'm going to tell is that even though I've been in a wheelchair and disabled for so many years, I had children, whether miraculously or not, I don't know, but my first husband and I were on it. I had my accident on our honeymoon, and we stayed together and had 5 children, and then things got messed up, but throughout that, there was divorce. But anyway, we had 5 children, naturally, my own children. And I had a spinal cord injury, but I still had children. So during raising them, and they're still all beautiful, lovely 5 adult children. I have 9 grandchildren now. And during those years of raising them, my husband, of course, helped me discipline them, but as they grew older, like 4 or 5 years old, all of them at different, they were 2 years apart. I had nothing but authority to use, and I took it, and I could take all of them, say 3, 4 kids at it, before I had the last one. I had about, the 4 of them. We'd go to the grocery store when I could. Even after my divorce, they were little, and I was driving then in a handicapped vehicle, and I took them to the store. I could take all of them and safely go from my car by myself to the store. I had a caregiver, but there were times, and being in the basement or wherever they were in a house, I spoke to them with authority, and they listened. And that's how demons are. They're like children. And the difference is your expectation that you have authority is the difference in how you speak sharply to a demon. And I'm being reminded by the Lord that I'm not speaking to them authoritatively enough when I'm speaking to my body. You have authority over your body. Okay, but the little story I wanted to tell was people would maybe come watch my kids, and they wouldn't always listen very well to someone else. And so I would hear someone say, "Oh, so-and-so, one of the kids isn't listening." And I'm like, "Did you tell them I told them?" Sometimes I would just tell them Mom said, and they would listen better, Even though I don't have any way of getting to the basement or wherever they were. They knew there would be consequences. So I'm like, "How did you talk to them?" So I would come in and go, "You can't talk to them like that. You can't talk to them like, honey, it's time to clean up. You can't have any more cookies." Whatever they were telling them, trying to be nice. And I'm like, okay, well, they're used to me talking to them like this. "All right, everybody clean up, get out, what are you doing?" And it's not just the yelling, it's the authority. And I have that authority still as a mother and a grandmother. It's like it takes over. It's a spiritual thing. If somebody's kid is in front of me and they're doing something that I know that they shouldn't do, I just tell them, and they wonder why I'm talking to them, but they respond. Your voice gets a little loud, but it doesn't have to be loud. It's the authority. And Curry Blake talks about authority. It's your experience with whatever you have in experience with authority. You got to remember that kind of experience talking to demons. When you don't know that you have authority over a demon, you're going to talk like, "Okay, come out in the name of Jesus." Sounds so. It's not coming out. Why isn't it coming out? It's like, well, it doesn't believe that you believe, and that's the way children are too. And I've heard this from other people, so I know this is correct. It's just like children. It's like if they're not listening, the first time I talk sharper and louder and more expectantly. And if the kids are in the pool and they're not listening, time to come out. Time to come out. Lily, time to come out right now. And that's the way you talk to demons. It's like I still have the same voice with my boys. You know, I could hear them. I could have effect on them downstairs. I would hear. I have two boys. If I heard one shouting, Adam usually was getting tortured by his older brother. So if Adam was crying, I'd go, Jeremy! And I'd call him up and wait for him to tell me. And like, he's not gonna tell me it wasn't me. He knows. So I would wait for him to explain. And he's like, I know. But anyway, the Lord shows me that you have authority over something. Use it over your body and over demons. And when when I recognize something is demonic, and there are many ways to tell that's demonic. I say that so many times, like almost every day. I'm like, that's demonic. It might be somebody else I recognize it in, and I'm not ministering to that person. I might not be asked to do such a thing. But if I recognize anything that's demonic in myself, I start the procedure of prying it out with the word, a verse. You know, we do it in the shower, we do it, privately, and you don't always have a violent response, but you will notice a change of that hold on you from whatever it is. But recognizing their hold on you, also repenting is just a form of, now I disagree with that. Whatever I did to let that in, I disagree with it, and they have to leave. And sometimes it's real easy. Anyway, it's time for me to go. I just wanted to talk about that today. Thanks for listening.